This is an Ellis Mowers and Mower small engine repair. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. Parts used in today's repair are found using the links in the description below. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. Today's repair is going to be, well, this is not mine, but it is somebody who I know who also gets things for free, but he does mostly like estate cleanouts and stuff like that. He's more in the golf carts, and he gets everything. And one of these things he got was this Troy Bilt Pony. He got it free, pulled up, realized it was a little bit rougher than it was than he was expecting it to be. Still brought it over here. I told him I'd give it a look, see if I think it's worth fixing for him financially on everybody's end. I think it is. It is a Troy Bilt Pony. It's around 2006 model year, and I'll show you some things that makes me think that this mower doesn't really have a lot of hours on it, that it's just basically been sitting a while. I have gotten it to where it will run and on starting fluid. So we may be able to get lucky and get a little quick carb clean. And then the main thing we're going to have to figure out is the deck. Deck's pretty stuck on it. So we'll see what we can do there. But let me give you a walk around, see what we can get ourselves into here. So quite a few clues lead me to believe that this mower does not have a lot of hours on it and that it's just been sitting around for quite a long time. Biggest clue here is the tires. Yes, they are very dry rotted and cracked, but you can see they still have the nipples on them here in the middle. Usually when they still have the nipples on them like this, that usually means that they don't have 50 hours on them, if at most 100 hours, which is pretty low. Things I have already done: I have freed up the steering. It was pretty frozen. Tried putting air in all the tires, but I did have to seat the two front tires because they had come off the bead. Threw starter fluid in the engine and a jump pack on it, and it cranked over and kicked over on starting fluid. Tried to put gas in it. Gas didn't take, so I'm thinking that we got, well, there's some junk in there too, but I'm thinking that we've got just a clogged carb. Might get lucky since it's one of these Nickies. Sometimes you can get lucky with the Nickies and take off this 1/2 inch and unplug that solenoid. And like I say, you might get lucky and just have to either cut off the solenoid, free up the solenoid, or be able to run a wire straight up through the main jet, and it'll clear itself out as long as the seals aren't shot or anything like that. So that's that. The main thing is the deck, and I'm not going to stress it here because it won't pull the cable. We got to get this deck sorted out. That's going to be the biggest hang up on this, and going to be the biggest cost most likely, especially if it doesn't pan out. But battery tray and everything back here, the belts actually look pretty good on it. So of course you got leaves and junk all in it. He's going to clean this up. Otherwise, I'd be cleaning this up. He does all the cleaning and whatnot on it, on his items. Data manufacturer 5 of 2006. There's your model numbers and serial numbers if you need those. But this is your standard Troy Bilt Pony, 17.5 horsepower. Oil is in okay shape. I think it's a little high. I think it smells a little bit like gas, which we will change both of them. And first off, let me get a battery in this. We'll open up that carb, see if we can get it to where it will see if it's just a stuck anti-backfire solenoid, or if we actually need to clean the jet and the carburetor to get it running again. Sounds like it's going to be strong though otherwise. Alright, so now we're at the point we've taken off this anti-backfire solenoid, taken a 1/2 inch wrench and loosened up the bottom of the bowl here. Let's just see what comes out. It may not be pretty, it may be nothing at all, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's just a bunch of just junk. This is actually stuck in the down position, which is rather interesting. Now I'm going to smell like old gas for the rest of the day, but it is what it is. We're just breaking things left and right here. But we get a wire, and a lot of times what I've been able to succeed in doing this a couple of times. We can just make sure that we're getting gas flow first off. We may be having to take this carb off, which I figured we probably would, but either way, no biggie. See if we can get something started here at least. Just a tiny bit of drippage. We'll have to see where our blockage is. But what I'll do is I'm going to get a wire real quick. A lot of times what I do is just try and wedge something up through the main jet, which it appears is fairly open, which is nice. Well, we've got some sort of blockage somewhere in this fuel line that's preventing us from getting gas into the carburetor, or we have a blockage inside the carburetor, probably at the needle in the seat, if I were to venture to guess. We're going to make sure that we have free fuel flow all the way up to this point, though. First, oh, I hate making messes with gas. As long as we have that free fuel flow up to this point, that's our main problem that has been solved. Let's see. Alright, so we do. That's not the best way to go about this, unfortunately. So, a bunch of junk in there. Probably a bunch of water in there too. I see little water spots. What I'm going to do is spray a shot of carb spray up and through here. See if that... Oh, I can feel trash in this. Oh, all that junk that just came out. Holy cow. I think this carb's got junk in it that's stuck. So I'm going to continue to work on this and see if I can get that free. If I can get it, I think if I can get it free flowing from this elbow down into the carb, we might get lucky and not have to take anything off here. Not looking like it though. So we are going to venture into fixing this, or into taking the carb off. We've already taken the engine cover off. It's just 4 bolts. And now I've got a couple of 7/16. And then I don't have that reverse star bit. Oh, this is not a reverse. It's a deep well 8mm. I'm thinking of other machines. It's been a little while since I've done a single Briggs here. Alright, we'll pull that off. And then it's just a couple of linkages here, choke and throttle, super easy. Let's see, pull the choke out, we can just leave that in there. And then we'll turn this around, get the throttle, just like so. Now we're out. I'm gonna get it on the bench and see if I can get these screws off, and if so, because we've got to figure out why it's blocked right here. If If we can get that blockage out, we might be alright. If not, I got a carb here. We'll just slap it on there and keep on moving on. So all things considered, it doesn't really look that bad in here. I think my biggest hang up is, see, we pulled this off. We've definitely got a little bit of hole through this. It's just a matter of, let's see if I just need to fire up the ultrasonic, or if I can just get it a quick hit with some carb spray here. Oh, let's see. So that's cleaned up nicely, actually. Like, all of this is cleaning up fairly decently. The biggest thing, like I said, I've got to get this free up. And we just did, so that's good. So there was our biggest hang up right there, was that little area. Then we can just kind of, and the rest of these jets, they're all important obviously, but they're less significant. It don't take much to get these off either, so that's good. They're really not bad in here, guys. Really not bad at all. Probably wire brush this out and slap it back together. Probably will run after that, as long as I've got some good gas in it. So let me give that a shot, guys. I'll be right back. We'll finish. Okay. So we'll finish all this up here momentarily. One little area I need to wire brush out right there. And slap her back on, see if she'll run. I think she will. Just need to put a little bit of fresh gas in there and just give it some run time, honestly. Alright, y'all, I've checked the oil and everything. It's got plenty in it. Let me hook up my jump pack to this. And we're just going to see if we can get it to at least fire, or at least turn over. So, and run for a brief period of time here. Alright, so okay, that worked. Let's do this. I think the deck belt's caught on. Yep. It's gonna be pretty difficult to turn over now for some reason. Let's try it one more time. get the fan out of here and get this garage. I don't know if it's because it leaked some gas into the oil or what, but holy cow, it is a smoke show. Get a little bit of fan action going on. Let me double check the oil real quick. I know it's full, but it may be a little over full. Yeah. So realistically, what I need to do is suck all the oil out and just put some oil in it, put it up the right level. Give it a little bit of run time. Wow. Smoke show. At least it's windy outside, so all the smoke will kind of billow out quickly. Put a battery in it. Change the oil. I'll rejoin y'all in just a second. So unfortunately, it looks like the needle in the seat on this is gonna try and leak on me. It's not worth battling a nicky carb to try and get it right, so I'll just put that new carb on here. We know it runs good and it's gonna be fine, so we'll slap that on here and we should be good to go. I'll put this hood and stuff back on. I got a ton of oil on it just from where it was pushing oil out before I did that, and it's pushing oil out because it was overfilled with oil. Slap the new carb on. I'll get some air in these tires. I might even throw ATF in them already. That way we can just roll it around, see if we can get these things to stay up for us, and then we'll work on the deck. We're actually making decent progress here in a decent amount of time. So new carb is on. Everything is back together like it needs to be. Put a battery in it. ATF in the front tires. Should steer okay. We're going to see if it drives all right forward and backwards. That's the main thing. If it does, we'll go ahead and fix the rear tires or put ATF in the rear tires, whatever that looks like. Get that deck off and see if we can get that deck free. If we can get that deck free, I think we'll be home free. So. it could possibly just have a ton of oil in that muffler. But it runs okay. Doesn't seem like it's pushing too much mess out. So I'm gonna get it out of the garage, and I gotta take the deck off of it because it's not driving either. I think that Drive pulley might be not working properly. So whoop-de-doo. We'll find out, I suppose. So we got to see what's going on with number one, the drive, but number two, the deck. ATF seems to be holding okay so far. In order to get the deck off, you got to get these little hangers off here at the back, and then this particular one, you just slide the deck forward, and this little bracket should pop up and come off. Kind of have to get the deck in the right position, which is hard to do with one hand, but I'm trying. Either way, that's what's got to happen. And then once you do that, once you take the deck belt off here, the front too, you just have to slide it off and you're good to go. So I'm at the point that the only hang up right now is this blade brake on the left side, the one on the right, or the right side, excuse me. The one on the left, this return spring broke on it actually, so I've got to figure out number one, how those return springs work on these, and number two, do I even need to put one over there again? The answer is probably yes. And the other real question is, do I have what I need here? So we've got the brake is actually stuck on the pulley there. So what we've done is we've taken it off, and we're going to leave that spring right there too. I'm going to take this and just wire brush everything right here, make this pivot point good, wire brush it down there, lube it up a little bit, and we should have action when it comes to this. I think in terms of the remainder of the pulleys, that one's a little frozen up, but I think some WD-40 will bring everything back here from what I can see so far. It brought these spindles back, and I think it'll bring these pulleys back. Might not have to replace anything on this deck. That'll be good if we don't. Once I get all this free, I'll pop under there and see which pulley's frozen on the drive. If we can get those fixed without having to put any belts and stuff on it, then we'll be good there too. And we'll be mighty lucky, I'll say that much. Whew, so definitely one of the more unusual hang-ups I've seen, and it was actually with the main drive pulley that was frozen. So the main drive pulley was frozen, and it was binding everything else up. So a little bit of WD, lubricant, whatever. That's free. The Drive pulley's free. The tension pulley is free. So we'll slap the belt back on it and see. It's pretty easy to take the rear belt off of one of these. I don't know how well I can show y'all just because of the way it's under the fender. However, what you got to do, you got to put these belts on the main pulley, main drive pulley, and the Drive pulley, and then you put it over the tensioner pulley. There's a spring on the side over here that you have to take. Where is it? Right here. And you take a shoestring or something along those lines, pull it through this area and hook it on. And once you do that, then you have the tension of all the pulleys and stuff. So I think, in theory, that should have fixed everything. I'm going to crank it up and see if I can drive it a little bit. And if so, then we'll be okay. And it's got a little bit of a leak right here on the right side. But in terms of the deck, I found another spring that hopefully will work okay for us. It might be a little too tight. If so, we'll figure something out. But we've got all the blade brakes and stuff operating like they're supposed to now. So I'm going to pop all this back together. Number one, see if it drives. Number two, see if it cuts. So I just put everything back together, and dare I say, maybe I'm done with this. I'm not sure. Not completely sure. The deck is pulling back like it needs to. Return spring's working. Can't really ask for much better than that. Got to put a couple of clips back, or valve stem caps back on. We got ATF in the rear tires. Blew those tires up, or pumped them up, whatever you want to call them. And so I got to put the valve cap on that, which I'll find in just a second. That ain't no big deal. But let me get y'all out here, and I will see if we can get this thing to drive. It drives. I already tested that. But does it? Will it cut, or will the blades engage without a racket? I think we might be all right. I know that's off camera. Let me grab camera back. Man, I think we might be all right, guys. Got the seat safety off right now, just so I can crank it without that mess being on. I do need to drive it some, so. Go for a ride. I think I got enough time on the, yeah. It's crazy. She's a smoker though. Smoke's pretty bad, actually. Got to get that fixed. Deck came off the bracket there. She is a definite smoker, though. I don't know if that's a head gasket or. I think it is. Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure we got a head gasket issue. That fell off. That was a temporary doing of mine, trying to get it to where it would actually work. A little worm clamp fell off. But I gotta somehow get that old thing out right there and get a clip through there and we'll be good there. Runs and cuts, how about that? But really, I think needs a head gasket, or it's just got it's pumping out the front though, so I'm thinking that we've got something going on with, it's not the valve cover, or it could just be so much oil in it that it just needs to be run. So I'll keep an eye on the oil, as long as the oil's not getting dark, and it's not yet, so it makes me think it's not a head gasket. Maybe it's just so much oil in the muffler and gas from where it sat for that amount of time. We'll be done with this, guys. I'm excited. Even the headlights work. This is the next day. It stopped smoking. The throttle's a little weird, but might have to back off the screw just a little bit. But either way, I think she's ready to roll. Tires held air overnight. Again, I would clean this if it was mine. That'd be the first thing I'd have done. But person who got this, he'll clean it up before he sells it off. He stands to make a tiny bit of money too on it. And so everybody abounds, so to speak. But yeah, if I remember, I'll put a link, or not a link, but picture at the very tail end of this if he cleans it up, just to show you how it looked. I think it's going to look fairly almost new, honestly. And like I said, everything is freed up, it's driving, it's cutting, and we only have about 3 hours into it after it's been sitting for goodness knows how long, probably upwards of 10 years, and just fired right up. Sometimes you get lucky. He definitely got lucky, and I will get my cut of the repair, and he'll get his cut selling it, so everybody's happy in this case. Thank y'all again for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video of bringing a Troy Bilt Pony back to life, and stay tuned for the next repair. Catch you then. And just to show you how much that Troy Bilt cleaned up, my customer watched it. He's got it up for sale now. Really turned out nicely. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Take care.